Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video, I would like to discuss the issue of overextension or overextending your abilities and your limitations. You push your boundaries. And unfortunately, I can see this very much in the US society, where certain trends, fads, preferences get pushed to a limit, after which they will be pushed back, sometimes forcefully. And you will understand what I mean after I read you this little article. I personally never heard of this individual, but nevertheless, I think I should use this example to make a point. So here you have this article coming from AV Club, and it says that Matt Healy, I don't know who this person is, I'm honest with you guys, hit with, and I don't even want to find out, I know I have Wikipedia, but I don't care, it's not important, the name. Hit with $2.7 million bill for Malaysian music festival over same-sex kiss. So the 1975 are facing a legal threat after an onstage same-sex kiss prompted a government-mandated shutdown of music festival. So Matt Healy, or Healy, I don't know, this guy right here, I'm assuming, and his band, the 1975s, find themselves staring down a $2.7 million bill this week, or more accurate, 12.3 million ringgit, accused losses from Future Sound Asia's Malaysian Good Vibes Festival. That, you may recall, no I don't, is the music festival Haley shut down pretty much single-tonguedly, is it how you say it, tonguedly, a few weeks back, when upon being reminded of Malaysia's, pay attention to this wording, Malaysia's restrictive and oppressive legal strictures of homosexuality, he gave a long rant to his audience before kissing bandmate Ross McDonald on the lips. This led in turn to the band's headlining set being abruptly shut down. And then the next day, organizers announcing that the following day of the festival would also be shuttered on government demand. And I'm quoting, homosexuality is illegal in the country of Malaysia, with sentences that can include up to 20 years of imprisonment as well as caning. Okay, so we have here restrictive and oppressive legal strictures on homosexuality. I will give you first an analogy, and then I will ask you a few questions, or at least I will point out to some realities in our society. You are, my friends, in this country, free, supposedly, to do whatever you want as long as you don't, really hurt someone, not someone's feelings, but, physically hurt. You infringe his liberties, his rights. You threaten, you make threats, you, cause panic. Basically, this is what it is. And then there are laws for things that you might do. I don't know, labeling someone and creating problems for a person, the person, being publicly shamed and so on, wrongly shamed and so on. So I think you call them libel laws, some of them. So we have laws for that. Obviously, it's a limited freedom of speech. Nevertheless, I don't care for these guys, if they do whatever they do in public, in their little rooms. They're right. Nothing wrong there with their behavior from a perspective of legality. But people have preferences and have values. And when you go, certain values, the values could not necessarily be universal. Sometimes they're not. For instance, you can look at the age, for instance, of consent in different countries. They're different. And you can say, well, how is it a value when you can allow a kid to have sex then, but these countries allow kids to have sex then, and so on. So is a value or not? Is a value protecting children? No, there are nuances. So let's imagine you go to someone's house, you are invited to someone's house. And when you go to someone's house, you know that there are rules. Each house has rules. I think you know exactly where I'm going with this. So when you go over there, you would obey the rules of the house. Obviously, you are over there and you respect them. They respect you. The problem is when you go to someone's house, you don't make the rules. If they want you to take your shoes off upon entering the house, you take your shoes off or you go home. Okay? You're not going to just walk ostensibly because they somehow oppress people that don't take their shoes off. So you don't like it, you either do it or you get out. What point are you going to make as a guest? Over there. So in this case, this person was invited with his band over there. That country has its own rules, its own culture, its own traditions, whatever you want to call it, religion. It seems like they have a certain kind of view on these things. And you have at least the decency to, don't touch that. You're not Jesus Christ here to kick out the money changers or the people, the bazaar in the temple. You're not that. Why? Because you have all kind of sins, as we all do. So this is my point. This guy went over there and I think he misbehaved and he felt like he needs to make a point because where he comes from, these things are acceptable, but in that house, that's not acceptable. All right, imagine those guys coming into his house and demanding that they don't do this, or the women dress like that, or we eat only that, and so on. You wouldn't like it a bit. Now, that's their choice and that's their country, there's their nation. You have to respect that when you go at least in their house. Now, that's the first one. The second one is why I observed here in this country is how from a fringe, from the side, behavior, where it was first, it was requested, begged to be left alone. It evolved into something that if you do not vigorously and enthusiastically enough support or applaud, they will attack you and you can possibly, lose your livelihood. You can be fired, they can cancel you, they can attack you viciously. So from that, you said, okay, well, all right, let them be. They got to this. So the oppressed now seems to turn into a position where oppresses for disagreeing with their little thing. So then it's kind of imposing something on someone else, and you ask that someone else that is not tolerant accepting your shit. But on the other hand, you're not tolerant with them, imposing to them what you have. So this is bad. This is just an example here with this guy making a point over there. I mean, again, I don't have to continue, talking about that particular guy. But in the US society, unfortunately, we get to this point where some people were allowed, that's the word, they were allowed. How should I put it? I don't want to say, well, they were allowed. They were given, they were okay. And now it's payback? Well, if it's payback, at least let us know. And if we know that and people understand that that's a payback, I think things can get, unfortunately, ugly. And we don't need that, Don't get in other people's business. Something that you didn't like then, now you kind of... Anyway, this was just a point on all this. You came a long way from there to here. Now you try to impose this on others, and if these others don't, as I said, show enthusiasm enough, or simply say, I disagree with that, or I don't like it, you're gonna do what? Imprison him? Or imprison her? Or them? All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.